Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Just getting everything set up. Um, okay. Get my headphones on, so just in case people want to come in, join the Hangout stream, talk Dragon Ball Super. Right, honestly, you know what I mean? We gotta talk about this because it's pretty bad, y'all. It's pretty bad out here, man. I'm not even sure where to start. You know what I mean? It I don't know if I've been. Well, no, I think like I've been part of. I mean, I think sometimes I am part of fandoms, that just aren't as critical as they could be about whatever it is that they like at least in terms of manga, right, or anime or whatever, comics, whatever. But just like people just not are not they're not critical enough. You know what I mean? Um, it just kind of like it's a little unnerving, when you see YouTubers, um, maybe just people that you're talking to, it could be friends, things like that, and they will not, they just won't admit that there's a problem with, the writing, the battles, the the animation, like that's a different thing. I think like there's a lot to that. So I'm not big on critiquing Dragon Ball Super's animation or anything like that because the animation industry as a whole, like there are a lot of problematics that exist there. And there are tons of videos about animation in general in the industry, like in Japan. So I'm not really gonna get into that. But like I really want to talk about the issues with Dragon Ball Super. Because sometimes like you can say, oh, let's shut our brains off. Let's ignore like certain things, and that's fine. Like if that's something that you want to do, it doesn't mean that you can't be critical, right? Like it's like you can do both. You can shut off your brain while you're watching and say, okay, right, because you have an understanding of why something is bad. You know what I mean? Like I know that Dragon Ball Super is not a quality anime by any real means, right? Outside of maybe a few episodes here and there that are decent, and only because of the battles, right? Like I think a lot of people try to make Dragon Ball Super to be like this super deep thing, and they try to what's the word? They try to project their own views about like the particular show as fact, as if those are the things that are actually happening within the episodes, or as if Toriyama or the editors or even Toyotaro or whoever's working on the manga, like it's like that's the thing. It's just like a lot of like nonsense. Yo, what's going on, Zalmighty King? Shout out to Zalmighty King. Shout out to Black Midoriya. Shout out to Darkseid. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we got to have a real discussion about this. Like, if any of y'all want to hop into the Hangout stream, let me know. We could just like, have a discussion about this, that way. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking about how I feel about Dragon Ball Super and what I think the issues are. You know what I mean? It's just it's just a little too much. Yo, Hamasa Boss. Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, the manga is way better. I think if I can start anywhere, I would just say like look at the manga, look at the Dragon Ball Super manga, and what Toyotaro is doing with that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like everything about it is better. Like it's just in every way, right? Outside of what the animation, right? Because I mean, manga's not anime, right? But that would be like a ridiculous like argument to make, right? So pretty much everything like that the manga does, right, that you could compare to the anime is like 10 times, maybe even 15 to 20 times better. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like the storylines are a little like a slightly different, but I think like just like the way that the plot's done, the narratives, the battles are all just like on a much higher level than the anime. You know what I mean? Sometimes like you read the manga and you're just like, wow, like this is like it has that Dragon Ball Z feel, the Dragon Ball feel. And it's not to say that like, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z was ever like an incredibly well written series or anything like that. It's just to say that, like, Dragon Ball has its charm. Dragon Ball Z has its charm. You know what I mean? Like, it's very particular. You know, things are generally explained in a sense. I think, well, more so in Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z in some sense. But to go back to the manga, like, the manga is just far superior. You know what I mean? Like, the Goku Black arc was dealt with better. The Frieza stuff was whatever because we had the film already. And we had the anime already. You know what I mean? So that was neither here nor there. Trying to think of other things, like even the Tournament of Power arc right now is like being dealt with better. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways. The fights are superb in the manga. I enjoy the fights in the manga way more than I enjoy the fights in the anime. That's just me, right? Yeah, I've been really, really lenient. The manga isn't even far ahead. It's behind, actually. It's a little weird because I think, I want to say sometime early this year, maybe even last year, I think, maybe even last year, like Toyotaro was saying that, the manga was going to surpass or jump ahead of the anime, and that never happened, right? But in some ways, that's a good thing because you could tell that Toyotaro is taking his time with the manga, with the story, with everything, so that things like make sense in the realm of the Dragon Ball universe, right? Because if we start comparing like the logic of like the Dragon Ball universe to a logic of another universe, sometimes like that to me that's a little problematic, right? In some senses, right? But what arguments I think are very valid are saying that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z established a particular universal sort of logic, right, within the realm of that franchise's story, right? And Dragon Ball Super kind of like craps all over that. There are too many retcons. You know what I mean? Like I can understand, like let's say like a comic book, like a comic book set of like characters like in particular universes having like retcons. You know what I mean? Sort of like what Marvel will do with, let's say, like a Wolverine or Magneto, or or what DC will do with like Superman or whatever. You know what I mean? Like or Batman or whatever. Like that's like established. Like we like as comic readers, we understand that that's going to happen. But like with something with like Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super, like this is like one established universe, right? Like it's not like when we switch from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, where we're shifting universes, right? We're not going from like Earth 616 or something like that to something else, to another like Earth, right? That's not what we're doing, right? Like so a lot of what happens in Dragon Ball Super just pisses me off. Let me see. Just waiting for Jiren fight I'm not really bothered about anything else. Like I look, I will say that like am I entertained to an extent by the anime? Sure. But there was a point where I reviewed Dragon Ball Super, and I just kind of stopped doing that because, I like legit could not, in good conscience, like continue to review a series that I knew was like, crap in that sense. Like it just didn't make a lot of sense, right? Because I had already made videos about why Dragon Ball Super wasn't making a whole lot of sense. Why there were too many retcons. There was no, there was like barely, if any, quality figurative language or metaphoric content. You know what I mean? Like why the Super Saiyan. Like I had a whole video on why the Super Saiyan transformation has been like reduced to like nothing. You know what I mean? Like it has no real value outside of like the shit writing of Dragon Ball Super. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I've talked about this, right? Dragon Ball Z, like the Super Saiyan transformation usually represented something, some shift, some change in like the story. You know what I mean? But now it's like I mean, what's like where's the meaning in Super Saiyan Blue? I mean, where's the meaning in Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken? Where's the meaning in Super Saiyan what's it called? God, right? You know what I mean? Like there's just like there's no real meaning to that, right? Like right, and some people will try to make the argument that Super Saiyan God has a meaning because it introduces this whole new thing about being godly strong. But there's so many, but it's so flawed. The power scaling is so flawed that it undermines whatever meaning Super Saiyan God could have. Right. So anytime I hear people, trying to defend, not even defend, but just like trying to, logic out or even fix the logic, right? Like they'll try to fix the logic of the flawed logic of Dragon Ball Super, and then try to sort of impose that onto the show as if that's what's actually happening. And it's like, no. Yeah, they did everybody dirty. They did Tien dirty. Well, Tien's always kind of been done dirty. Like Tien was done dirty, right? Like after the Cell arc, he was like nobody, right? And in some ways, like not rightfully so, but like I understood that, right? Because the power scaling had like gotten so ridiculous that like it didn't make any sense for Tien to become strong enough to present any sort of real, like he didn't have any, he wasn't significant enough, right, in terms of power. And the story got to a place where it wasn't really about like, characters being intelligent and making moves and stuff like that. It was just about, okay, who's going to be the strongest and how do we defeat this like ridiculous threat that is like Majin Buu, right? Before that, it was like, even at one point, right, Tien was strong enough to thwart semi-perfect Cell, right? At one point, right? Like at least he was relevant, right? Like there was a right and he was a part of the plot, he was part of the storyline in a sense. But the Majin Buu arc, like he was completely irrelevant. And like I said, rightfully so, because Majin Buu was ridiculous. When we get to and don't get me started on Piccolo. You know what I mean? And I've said this multiple times. Like Piccolo, right? Piccolo was one of the, if not the best character, right? In terms of character development, in terms of fleshing him out, was so well done. I think for Dragon Ball, right? For shonen at the time, in a sense, right? And for Dragon Ball and for Toriyama, right? Because Toriyama is not very well known for like fleshing out characters or showing development over time or anything like that in terms of morality or like ethics or shift in temperament or whatever. But like Piccolo was clearly a character that goes through a lot, right? At least for me, and, right, within the context of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, right? And then when Dragon Ball Super happens, it's like, he's again like it's like treated like crap. You know what I mean? Where's the power? Where's the development? Because Piccolo is still right. He's not human, right? Sorry about this. Like my eye just kind of being kind of funky. But like Piccolo is not treated as he should in Dragon Ball Super. And many characters aren't, right? And what the Dragon Ball Super anime tries to do is it tries to sort of have these like mini, these sort of mini episodes where a character, where they'll try to like almost force feed like the development down our throats or whatever. And it's like, no, this is not how Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball franchise has worked necessarily, right? We haven't gotten, Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z wasn't about like having these little, pockets where, we have these mini storylines where a character will get a ton of development in like one episode, right? That's not it, right? So I don't know. Let me see. Piccolo's characters were, it was great. Okay. Can DBS just have Vegeta be the main villain? Yeah. I mean, I think like, in some ways that's like Toriyama, right? And maybe to a lesser extent Toyotaro, like in terms of how they treat Vegeta. From what I've heard, I mean, they just do not care to make Vegeta like the guy ever, which is really sad because I think Vegeta has definitely earned that, right? In terms of like, his space, right? In terms of like within the narrative, within like plot points and things of that nature. He should be able to beat like some like main villain at some point. But I think like, like for me, like I'd like to see him beat Toppo. Piccolo, yeah, Piccolo was a great character. It's a shame. Definitely. Yeah, right. Like, let's see, like, what does Krillin just sound like? Such a like person. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, you talking about, I guess are you talking about like in Japanese? I mean, like, or I guess you're talking about the dialogue. I guess, like, it's a little weird. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess like that was sort of like a, it was convenient to make Krillin sort of like doubt like his abilities, and again, like rightfully so in terms of where Dragon Ball Super was prior to the Tournament of Power, right? Prior to the Tournament of Power, it was like, what was Krillin going to do? Krillin wasn't going to do shit against anybody. He just wasn't strong enough. But when it came to the Tournament of Power, like, he can't, like they sort of got him back. But even then, it was still kind of, it was still kind of weird. He still kind of doubted himself at times, and it was just like, some of these characters in the Tournament of Power weren't particularly strong. So I don't know. I think that was like a place where they could have really, really tried to develop Krillin more so than they have tried. Yeah, I mean, just the character designs are just lackluster. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen Toriyama. Toriyama's character designs are legendary, right? Like, we've seen it with Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, and of course Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You know what I mean? And there are some character designs that I like. Not many, but there are some. Like, like, I love Topo's character design. Topo's great. Topo's like I like Topo's character design. Dispo's cool. But there aren't a lot of characters that I particularly like in terms of their design necessarily. Just kind of uninspired is what I would call it. DBZ is, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Hit's design is cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's some that I like, but the majority of the designs are just like, like Wiz's design I like. Beerus is, he's all right. It's a little uninspired. It's like, whatever. So for me, the shit with Frieza, yeah, like let's talk about the thing with Frieza. Where the thing that bothered me the most is, like, all of a sudden, Frieza is like this super calculating, calculated sort of character that's like, scheming in like this like really over the top kind of intense sort of way. Where right in Dragon Ball Z, he was just kind of like, I'm a jackass and I'm gonna be a jackass and I'm sadistic. So I understood like so some instances, right, where they show Frieza's sadism, I get that because that's in his character, right? That's been in his character. We've seen that. But when it comes to, like, right, the sort of plan that he had with Gohan and this over the top acting and everything like that, it didn't make any sense because he was clearly stronger than Frost. I didn't understand why the anime people for the anime decided that Frost had any sort of was any sort of real threat to Frieza or Gohan or whatever. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, Frost was just waiting around on the sidelines with like the sort of death beam and stuff. Like, that was ridiculous. It was really over the top. It didn't make any sense. It was I didn't understand why that was necessary. Like, for Frieza to help. I mean, I understand why it was necessary for Frieza to help Gon because, like, clearly he has his plan. But even so, it's just, a lot of it is just kind of ridiculous, over the top, like nonsense. It just seems out of character. And a lot of people would try to say, "Oh, Frieza's always been calculating and very intelligent." Smart. Like, I don't remember that. I don't remember Frieza being like particularly smart in the Frieza the Namek saga. I don't remember that. I remember Frieza being an asshole. That's what I remember. But I don't remember him being like this, like, super battle tactician or anything like that. He's just a jerk. Everything that he did was always came back to sadism. It always came back to him being a jackass. So anytime I see an argument about, oh, Frieza's always been like that, I'm like, no, he hasn't. But let me think. Okay. So I'm gonna get to the Ribian thing in a little bit because I have thoughts about the Ribian thing. Why does Topo, Jiren, all the other gods of destruction, the Ami King, all the yeah. I mean, like, the gods of destruction are just you know what I mean? It's just like what's his name? I can't remember the clown dudes, the clown, the god of destruction. Like it's just uninspired. You know what I mean? Like when you think about all the character designs that you've seen in, Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, you know what I mean? Some of his other manga, Sandland, um, uh, the Dragon Ball series franchise. It's just sad. It's just like, it's like, the sort of like Kitsune looking dude, the fox, god of destruction, uninspired. Like we've seen so many, Kitsune inspired characters, in Japanese like manga and anime and television. It's just like, there was that one dude that looked like one of those sort of sprites from like Spirit, no, not Spirited Away. Yeah, Spirited Away, right? Like just uninspired, man. Like just really, really sad. There's that one sort of like aquatic looking dude, like really uninspired character designs for the Gods of Destruction, I think. They're like, it's like, okay, but like you want them to be badass, right? Because whenever you read a shonen manga, or a seinen manga, right? Like whenever you read those, and right, this can include this can include shoujo, like, in particular, like battle sort of like, seinen, shonen and shoujo, like you always have these badass character designs, so it's just like it's just uninspiring, and really kind of sad, and you can kind of tell that Toriyama is just kind of like phoning a lot of shit in. I want to get to the Reband stuff last because I'm pretty sure I have thoughts contrary to what a lot of people think about Reband, and I'll explain like why, and what that has to do with a lot of things that I've discussed like on Twitter and stuff like that. But is Gohan doing anything to redeem himself? At this point, I don't care. I really don't. I have no what's the word I'm looking for? I have no reason to. There's no stakes, right? Like I have no attachment to Gohan at the moment. We can definitely talk about, we can talk about like what could happen for Gohan. How can he get stronger? Blah blah blah. I don't know. Other than being able to access some variant of Super Saiyan God or Blue or whatever. You know what I mean? Something that's specific to him. I don't see any other form that would make a lot of sense for Gohan to access. For me, like I have no expectations for Gohan. Honestly, I think a lot of people do, and that's cool. Like it's like, okay, like I mean, I understand people love Gohan, and I used to, because the Gohan in Dragon Ball, in the sort of even like right like teen Gohan and right and child Gohan, like adolescent Gohan, right, and even toddler Gohan, and then right like I'm like when I say like in Dragon Ball Zero in the Buu saga, and to me Gohan's kind of an adult in a sense, like he's old enough to where he's not really a teenager in a lot of ways, based on how the arc sort of moves. But so they're just very different characters. Teen Gohan, right? Teen Gohan and like right up till Super Saiyan 2, right at the end of the Cell, up until the end of the Cell arc, right? And adolescent Gohan and even toddler Gohan, right? They're different. They're different from what Toriyama is doing with Gohan in Dragon Ball Super, and even the end of the Buu arc, right? At that point, Gohan's kind of like just he's just a character that I don't have much attachment to, outside of, yeah, it's great. Like you have a family, it's cool. You want to do this thing, you want to have a relationship, like an actual relationship where you're there and you're present and blah blah blah, right? Unlike your dad. I just don't care. And yeah, Vegeta. Even, I mean, I will say that like right, there are little things where you can see that I guess Toriyama or whoever is like working with it is still working on developing Vegeta, right? With Bulma being pregnant and having a baby and choosing to stay for the duration of the pregnancy and not train. That's like huge, like we see that, right? Like that's like really, really good to me. Like that's like good sort of character development, right? Like it's not great character development. It's not like, but it's good. Like it's enough to where, I see like, oh, they're still working on Vegeta. That's cool. Like, I like that. But for Gohan, I just don't care. I don't like, because I don't feel as if there's anything left to do, really. Like, he has a family. He's a successful, scholar. This is like very much so, I think what Gohan should be doing in terms of like his character, in terms of what his what Chi-Chi wanted for him, in terms of what I think in a lot of ways he wanted for himself. So it doesn't bother me as much. I understand, like, yeah, I love to see Gohan do badass things, but I don't have an investment in his character right now, because like it's clear, that he's it's whatever, right? He's kind of regressed in some ways. He's still going to Piccolo, to be trained when he's clearly stronger than Piccolo. It's weird. It's like it's odd. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, Gohan should have been training Piccolo, but because like he regressed so much, like he needed Piccolo to train. It's just weird. Like the writing's odd. It's a little weird. I just don't buy that Gohan is that weak. But that's how the writing has been. So whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, like he's always slacking. It's like, right, and that's just the writing, right? Like, because the characters are always going to do what the writer right of them dictates they do. Right, you hear a lot of stuff where it's where writers will be like, oh, like I want the characters to act organically, but it's like you constructed the characters, right? So like, and you're writing the characters, and you're writing the dialogue, and you're writing the narrative, and you're writing the plot. So like I always tend to call kind of bullshit on that, in that sense, right? And especially when it comes to bad writing, right? Because that's a part of bad writing, to do something outside the vein of what's in the character's sort of history of existence. You know what I mean? So for me, for like Gohan to just stop training like entirely, and to become so weak that he couldn't, that he needed Piccolo to train him again, that was ridiculous. Like that's just bad. That's just bad writing. It's I'm lazy. Why there's so many fodder when it's supposed to be a tournament full of the strongest warriors? I don't know. Goldie, Abbott. I don't know. I really don't. And it's like, it's cool. Like that's what, right. Yeah. His father's like, well, I will say this. When you study, like if you're a scholar, like, that comes from like here. It usually doesn't matter how much, money you have, because I know a lot of scholars who are wealthy as hell and, have tenure, and they still very much want to write and, do research and all that stuff. Come on, Eva, get out of here. They still very much will want to do that stuff. It's not really about the money. I mean, like that, it is at some point, right? Because, if you're a scholar and you get tenure at like a Research One university or something like that, that's like a ton of money. So the money is definitely an influence in terms of why you want to keep writing or doing research or whatever. Any scholar that tells you otherwise is fucking lying. They really are. Right, I'm talking about scholars like within academia. If they're telling you, oh, it's not about the money, it's not about that. Nah, like if they want to go to a Research One university and they want to do stuff like that, they're fucking lying. So Gohan, clearly like wants to be a scholar. He wants to do all that stuff, but the world and the space, right, doesn't dictate his being allowed to do that, right? Like it doesn't dictate that. It dictates that Gohan should be a fighter and should grow stronger and should protect his loved ones, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I think like right, like Gohan doesn't even get an opportunity to do that, and he shouldn't, because the world dictates that he can't be a scholar so much as he has to be someone who battles and does all these things and blah blah blah, whatever. Because that's a story. The story is a battle shonen. The story is not, you know, even like right. I can understand that in an Assassination Classroom, because Assassination Classroom is about, you know, being the best that you can be as a student, as well as, you know, a fighter or a scientist or whatever. You know what I mean? Let me see. Yo, Braga, y'all gotta make you moderator. Fucking Christ, man. Yo, let's see. Fewer participants, maybe. Oh yeah, look. The whole Tournament of Power is a fucking mess. Let's be honest. It is a fucking mess. There is no fucking reason why the tournament should be as long as it is. Why there's so many fighters. I said this from the fucking beginning. There's absolutely no fucking reason. And yo, Braga, if you want to join the Hangouts, let me know, and I'll like send a link down, and like whoever wants to join, y'all can join. We'll just have a discussion, like, you know, where we like shoot the breeze and shit about Dragon Ball Super and why it's a fucking problem. And like I said, I've said, like, yo, you shut your brain off. You know, well, the part of your brain, like you know, that's or the part of your conscience that's like, this show is ridiculous. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. If you shut that off, you can have a good time with Dragon Ball Super, right? And a couple of other things, right? But mainly Dragon Ball Super, right? Like, you can have a good time and enjoy the battles and shit for what they are, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't be critical, right, of particular things that happen, because those are the things, like, they exist. Those shortcomings exist. But yeah, let's go back to the Tournament of Power. Shouldn't make no damn sense. I like it's made that way, right? It's constructed that way because Dragon Ball Super is a cash cow, right? Like YouTubers have said this. YouTubers have admitted, right? Large YouTubers, right? The big ones, the big fucking kahunas in the Dragon Ball Super you know, community or whatever, have admitted that Dragon Ball Super is a cash cow. They know this shit, right? So anytime you're critiquing, right? So that's another thing that pisses me off, right? You can't in one breath acknowledge that and then not be, you know, critical, right? Or not notice how the arcs are sort of constructed, and particularly this arc, right? Right, the fact that this arc is constructed in such a way that it's supposed to be particularly long, that we get more episodes, that we can introduce more characters, that they can introduce more merchandise, you know what I mean, shit like that. The fact that they did the Frieza arc, right, in Dragon Ball Super, that was unnecessary. The movie was already there, you know what I mean, shit like that. Like, shit like that is like in fucking excusable. You know, so yeah, and like, if, you know, to go back to the Tournament of Power and the makeup of it, right? Like, again, the tournament is like incredibly fucking long. There's a ridiculous issue with you know, time relative to you know, how we're sort of experiencing particular things, and how we should be able to experience the fights and the battles. And like, we should be aware of, like, when a battle goes on, like, generally how long it might have been going on in terms of like the time in Dragon, in terms of time in Dragon Ball Super. But like, that's almost impossible to tell, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that, like, right, like, you see, like, and this is something that I can compare to like other anime and other manga, stuff like that, right? Because if you read something like, you know, you know, Hunter x Hunter, or any other anime, right? Like Shokugeki no Soma, stuff like that, Food Wars, right? Like, there's always you're always sort of aware of like how long particular things take, how much time has passed. That's always embedded into the narrative, right? And the construction of how the story moves along, how the plot sort of moves along, right? Like, I can think of, you know, right, like Dragon Ball Super tries to do that, but it fails miserably, right? They're always sort of telling us at the end of the episode, this is how much time passed. But it's like, huh? You know what I mean? It's like nah, you can't tell me that this much time passed and like all this shit was going on, and like, you know what I mean? No. Like, that's ridiculous, right? What good sort of anime and manga do is that they have the time thing embedded into the narrative, into the plot, into the dialogue, in such a way that like they match up, right? So one thing that I think is really good is sort of like that did a really great job with that is like Food Wars or Shokugeki no Soma. There's one instance where the contestants are cooking in this sort of mini sort of tournament arc, and like there's like the moon is like a big part of how they're able to sort of tell how long the cooking has gone on for, and the contestants are aware of how it's moving and stuff like that, and like the narrative, right? The narrative outside of the like dialogue and everything, right? Like tells us like that too. So that's an instance when in where it's well done. Hunter x Hunter as well, but Hunter x Hunter does a lot of things very well. The characters, a lot of characters that are absolutely useless. They're only there so that, hey, maybe we want to make a figure out of like, the guy who's supposed to be sort of representative of like a, Ultraman, Super Sentai kind of like character. You know what I mean? Like shit like that is there. Just garbage, But like I said, guys, if you want to join, stream, I'll put the Hangout link in there. Actually, let me do that now, and then we can, we can have that discussion. You know what I mean? I really want to know what I really want to know what all y'all think. And like the Ribian thing, like, look, I'll say this about me. And I'm gonna say this like a couple of times, right? Like, I might have to say it a couple of times, but with the when it comes to like Ribian, right? And even Kale and Khalifa to a lesser extent. One, understand, like I like these characters. They're cool characters. I like them. It is my prerogative to like these characters, and that's fine. Now you can't tell me the characters that I can and can't like, right? That's understood, I think. To some people not really. Some people they're like, oh, you like this character, you're an idiot. Most of the people are like 16 years old, 14, whatever. They like maybe even in their fucking like early 20s, and they just like are ridiculous. Some of them are like close to my age, and they're equally ridiculous, right? So I'm not gonna get into that. But what I will say about Ribian and Kale and Khalifa is like there are things that I like about the dynamics that they have, and for me that's just because like I've read shoujo manga, like so I'm accustomed to those characters, right? Like and their relationships to other characters. Like I'm accustomed to that. Some people are not, and that's fine. And that might be a reason why they don't like those characters, because like there are women in, right? There are women in a shonen, and they're taking the spotlight from these guys in a shonen. And there are some people that are like that. I'm not saying everybody's like that or every guy's like that. I'm just saying like this is a thing, right? So yeah. But if we go to what do I want to say? Like there are definitely people that hate Ribrianne and hate Kale and Khalifa because they are simply women in this narrative, and they're guys, and they like it's like you can feel it, like even like in the chat, like in the discussion, like in the comment section, you can tell they do not have like any sort of real like relationships with women, like outside of like their desire to have sex with women. You know what I mean? Like you could tell, man, like right off the bat, like you could see some of these dudes in the chat, and not even the chat, but like in like the fucking whatchamacallit, in like other like DBZ like videos, like when like you'll watch a clip of Ribrianne fighting or something like that, or Kale and Khalifa fighting, or Kefla fighting, and you see all these dudes in the fucking comment section just like, Ribrianne's so fat, get her disgusting ass out of here. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. That's like whoa. Chill. You know what I mean? Like on some like Little Yachty type shit. Like chill. Relax. This is not to say like you can't have a discussion about why a character isn't particularly well done, right? Or like where they're flawed and stuff like that. You can definitely have a discussion, right? Like if we're comparing characters like Ribrianne and Kale and Khalifa, to characters, let's say in like a Hunter x Hunter or something like that, like in terms of like the quality of the writing, of course they're not going to compare, because Toriyama is not like the best writer when it comes to character development, right? I think we understand that. So I totally get like fair criticisms of characters. That I'm fine for that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like, right, like they can only be sort of one strong warrior, right? It's like right? Jiren's presence is so large. I mean, this is something that's happened in, Dragon, to a lesser extent, in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, right? But there's always been like a sort of way in which, like, right, in Dragon Ball, even Krillin could keep up to, in a sense, right? Even Yamcha or Tien could keep up in a sense, right? To Goku and even to Piccolo, right? Remember Krillin fought Piccolo, and yeah, Piccolo was kind of playing around, but like Krillin could still give him a little bit of work. You know what I mean? In Dragon Ball. So, and I like that's the type of like stuff that I appreciate. You know, in Dragon Ball Z, like even Tien could like use his Kiko Hall, right, like to right, the Tri-Beam, right, like to incapacitate Cell, even if it's for like seconds. You know what I mean? So like that, right? Krillin versus Goku and DB was so good, right? So yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's like right. So like Ribrianne is clearly strong. Kale and Khalifa are clearly strong. And like the garbage logic explains why Kale and Khalifa are strong, like in a general sense, right? Like we have to go out of our way to explain things. And that's something that I also have a problem with. I'll get to that in a little bit. But if we look at like, if let me think. I think I'm done. I like Kale and Khalifa's relationship. It's cool. Like they're friends. It's nice. It's nice to see there's only so many times that I can see Vegeta be like, Goku, is Goku, and I don't like Kakarot. I'm like, yo, it's been how many years, my dude? Like, come on now, like, come on, like, stop, like, you're ridiculous. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It's like there's only so many times that like I'm like, come on, like, and Ribrianne's like, Ribrianne is clearly like a reference to like the magical girl genre in shoujo manga. And like, if you like that stuff, like I like that stuff. So for me, it's like, cool, like cool, right? Like I don't mind her character because I understand what she is. She's kind of like a jokey character, but she's also like a character that like really is an homage to that genre. So I understand what's going on there, and I think a lot of other people do, and they still might not like that. I know a lot of people that like, love the genre, but still don't like Ribrianne, and like that's fine too. Like, you know what I mean? It's like whatever. It's just my issue is like the sexism and the body shaming and stuff like that. That's like too much. That's like, yo. Like you can't go ahead and be and do like let's say like body shame like Ribrianne, you know what I mean? But you're like, obese. Like what's going, like, you know what I mean? That shit doesn't that shit doesn't fly. Like that shit is stupid. That makes no sense. So, shit like that. What else do I want to talk about? But like the whole show isn't practical, right? It's not like Ribrianne is the only non-practical thing, or Kale and Khalifa aren't the only non-practical things in Dragon Ball Super. The whole thing is a fucking mess. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like some people like they like some people, right? I'm very clear about that. Some people really zero in on that, but will not acknowledge all the other stupid shit. Like they want to defend Kaba, but Kaba's also like a scrub. This is not like there's some people like Kaba deserves his power up. He went through all this shit. No, it's just Kaba's just not. He's just not strong enough. Kaba's clearly stated this multiple times. He's like, I ain't as strong as him. What do you want me to do? It's like I have no real love for Kaba. I don't care about Kaba. Why? Because he's a scrub character that was inserted. He had potential, and of course, like Dragon Ball Super does. It just he's whatever. You know what I mean? Kaba is a scrub. Anybody else that wants to, Kaba's not a scrub. He gained a Super Saiyan transformation because he was mad. And I'm like, so? You know what I mean? Like, so? Who cares? Like he's a scrub. All right. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell some of these people out here. Who cares about Kaba? The Heart, I'm gonna make you a moderator. And I mean, who cares about Kaba? Man, scrub. I have no love for his character. He was struggling against like bums. Like he's struggling against fodder. You know what I mean? Well, but of course, fodder will struggle against fodder. That's like facts, right? So whatever. So people trying to be like Kaba doesn't get enough screen time. Who cares? Who cares whether Kaba gets enough screen time? He's a scrub. Scrubs should not get screen time. They should not be getting more screen time than fighters who are clearly way stronger than they are. and add more to a battle, right? Like that can make a battle interesting, right? So whatever. I could like, I'm not saying like you like, right, and I'm not saying you can't like a character, or like you can't like Kaba, you can't like, like his design or whatever. That's fine. I'm saying that like he is a scrub because he is not nearly as strong as Kale or Caulifla, and he does not add much to a fight narrative, right? Like as opposed to like the general sort of story or whatever. But like in terms of like the fights, he doesn't have much. Like look, like he, you know what I mean? Like whatever. So yeah, maybe. Super Mazuka said that Dragon Ball Super has garbage, but they can achieve greatness. I mean, like I don't know, like whatever. Like I don't know what kind of greatness they're talking about. Maybe like financially they've already achieved greatness, right? Like because they have the support of because Dragon Ball Super has the support of its predecessors, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like there was never any doubt that it was going to be greatness in the sense that a lot of people were going to watch it and love it and blah blah blah, right? We knew that there was going to be a super fandom for it, but like, I mean, come on, one thing I really want to talk about. I want to talk about this right now, and it's one of the things that really pissed me off. And this is not like, no, you know what? Fuck it, because I think a lot of people would be like, this is not a dig towards these people. This is not. I'm not trying like no offense, but it's like, dude, once you say no offense, something offensive is something offensive is going to follow that, right? Like you know what I mean? Like, so anytime something like, no offense, but like you're a scrub, you know what I mean? Like, but like no, like that's offensive. I'm gonna take that offensive, right? So offensively, right? So for me, I can say things in a productive and generally right respectful way, I think, in some ways. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. But like there are a lot of YouTubers out here who will put out these videos, and this is something that really pisses me off. They'll put out these videos and they'll explain things about the narrative or the plot or the story that weren't explained in the same way by Toriyama or Toyotaro or the writers or whatever, or the editors of Dragon Ball Super, as if like, and they'll present that shit in like a fucking like 15-minute long video, 20-minute long video, 25-minute long video, and they'll profit from those videos, right? Because those videos are fucking monetized, and they'll be like, this is facts, like as if they talk to Toriyama or Toyotaro or the editors or the other writers or whatever, you know what I mean? As if they like have, as if they flew to Japan or they had a Skype call with him or whatever, or a FaceTime call with him or whatever. And I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Like, no, that's not how good writing works. If your writing is strong enough or clear, right? It doesn't even need to necessarily need to be strong writing. It just needs to be clear, right? Like Toriyama put out that fucking, tingly back thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that because I expect particular things from Dragon Ball Super. So the tingly back thing doesn't bother me because I already know that Dragon Ball Super has weak writing, right? This is just a fact. The fact is Toriyama, right, or Toyotaro, whomever, inserted this into the story to explain how Kale and Caulifla could transform into Super Saiyans, right? Like this is the explanation we've been given, right? I'm not going to go out of my way to do research on East Asian philosophy and the nature of bodily energy and the flow and blah blah blah. I should not have to go out of my way to do that research to explain something that has already been explained, right, in the story, right, in the franchise, right? And two is a basic ass fucking thing. The Super Saiyan transformation is fucking basic. It is basic as fuck, right? There is nothing particularly advanced. Or maybe it was like when Toriyama introduced it, but even then I don't think so, because if I believe JoJo was out around the same time or even before that, I think. I have to look into that. I'm not sure, but like JoJo was already way more advanced than like anything that Dragon Ball was trying to do or Dragon Ball Z was trying to do. You know what I mean? Like people like really piss me off when they do that. Like. Let's say if you didn't monetize the video, I'd still have a gripe because it's like this is very much an ego thing, right? This is an ego thing. Make no mistake about it. When people make videos like that and they purport that their videos are like facts, you know what I mean? Like they might not say it out loud, but that's what they're doing, right? They want to ignore the fact that they have clout and that they have an influence over the Dragon Ball Super community, and they want to say these things, and they're presenting it as like, this is explained. This is the explanation. This is the explanation. No, I'm waiting for an explanation from Toriyama or Toyotaro or the editors or anybody that directly works on the manga or the anime. That's who I want these explanations of. I want that in the writing. You know, yeah. I mean, like, Sakura. We could talk about Sakura. We definitely have had a conversation about Sakura, but it pisses me off. It pisses me off, everybody. Like, it really does, really does. I have no fucking patience for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you are going like, hey, had a conversation with Toriyama, I had a conversation with Toyotaro, had a conversation with editors, had a conversation with other writers, like, this is what they said. This is how they explain this stuff, and that's it. You know, and it's like right, like, and that's fine. Like, you know, if you have like, you know, a way of figuring out like, you know, the saying maybe the tingly spine thing is a connection to the Saint's Tale. Like, that's cool. Like, you know, if you want to explain that and say like, hey, like, this is how I'm thinking about it. But right, like, but it's different, right? Because, you know, let's say, you know, other like YouTubers are big YouTubers, like people, like a lot of DB Super or just Dragon Ball franchise YouTubers are pretty large scale YouTubers. Like, it really bothers me when the sort of ego gets to such a place, you know, that like they're presenting these things as facts, and they're not facts. They're just like, this is what I think. You know, do you agree? Do you disagree? They're being like, this is the explanation. This makes total sense. So this should be fact. Even in academic communities, no one's fucking right, especially within like the humanities, right? Whether it be English, you know, philosophy, psychology, certain things like that, right? Like, well, no, particularly like psychology and social science, but you know, particularly that feels like that. You want to stay like, hey, like, this is the thing, but people can come and argue about whether what you're presenting makes total sense, right? That's how the academia works in a lot of ways. So that's why, like, I have a gripe. Like, it just bothers me. Yeah, and the spoilers, it's like I don't even bother anymore, just because like I already know what's kind of gonna happen. So, you know, so I already know how the battle's gonna go out. You know, like, I don't read any manga spoilers. I used to do that a lot, like years ago. Now I don't fucking do that shit at all. I avoid spoilers like the plague. Like, I don't go on Twitter until I've read all the Shonen Jump manga. But all y'all are pretty good about not spoiling stuff on Twitter. You know, and like YouTube, I don't go on YouTube at all. I don't watch anybody's reactions or anything like that. I just don't go on YouTube. I just wait. I just keep checking Manga Stream or whatever, or Jamin's box, I think it's how you pronounce it, you know, or anything like that. And say, hey, if it comes out okay, I'll read it, you know, and that's what I'll do. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I mean, Sakura is a trash character, but that, like, and again, like I keep saying, like, but that's Kishimoto, like, in the editor's fault, right? Like, that's like, you know, whoever decided to have Sakura make the decisions that she makes, right? Like, that's what that is, right? All of the crying. You know, like, she should have stopped that, like, after you know, after the first part, right, of Naruto, right? I understood that she was still a kid, you know what I mean? She's still, you know, she was very much emotional, like, she had the capacity to cry, because a lot of characters don't have the capacity to cry sometimes, you know. But after, like, right in Shippuden, it should have been established, like, hey, like, I've grown up, I've done these things, I'm more mature, you know, I can make particular decisions and things of that nature. You know what I mean? It's just like, ugh. You know, the writing was just poor there for Sakura. I feel bad for Sakura as a character, because she just got the short end of the stick, really. So yeah, but you know, again, it's like, you have a responsibility to me. This is generally too. This is not just Dragon Ball Super, but this is just like generally, like, as like if you were a big YouTuber, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a big YouTuber, like, and you're like throwing out like, you know, your own thoughts about what you think might be the case, like, you have to understand, like, that a lot of people, like, a lot of viewers, like, a lot of people will take your shit is fact. And like, and but also like you have to be cognizant of like how you should present that information. You know what I mean? A lot of people like, and you should be respectful of the opinions of others if they present it in a respectful way. You know what I mean? That's why like sometimes that shit bothers me. It's like you got some people that let us like, oh well, I don't know, like you only, you know, like oh, you only have this many subs, so you're not very intelligent. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here. Like no. You're not gonna question like my intelligence. You're not gonna question like the intelligence of like other people on YouTube out here of you know, people that subscribe, or people that have their own channels, people like that. No, please don't do that. What's better, GT or Super? And Super or Boruto? Oh fuck, Lord. Okay, so for me, I will say I honestly I think in terms of like the way certain things are constructed, I would say GT you know, was better than Super. I think a lot of people like GT wasn't better than Super. But I think like GT was far and away much better in terms of like the story, the way that certain things were you know, the plot was constructed, narrative, stuff like that. It was better. You know, and then in terms of Super versus Boruto, oh, it's tough. I'm not sure. I would say Super is better than I would say that Boruto is better than Super, but not by much. You know what I mean? Because at least Boruto tries to do some things that Super just clearly like doesn't do. Yeah, I would say Boruto is better than Super, but not by much. Not by much. I think Boruto has a lot of fucking flaws. It's very boring to me, honestly. Like I have a hard time like even just trying to keep up with Boruto. I need to do like a stream where I just read through that shit. One thing that bothered me about Boruto for a while was like, especially like the manga, right? It was like the way they drew Sarada, and it was mad creepy, yo. It was like, but like, yo, there is no reason why Sarada. How old is Sarada? Well, like 12, maybe. You know what I mean? 13, maybe. 12. You know what I mean? Why is her skirt so short? Why is she like drawn in a way that's like particularly like sexual? That shit was gross. Don't do that. You know, like your story is already like weak. Don't add to your weak story with like stupid ass sexualization of like kids. Like don't do that. I read Haikyuu, but I'm not caught up. Like I needed to read like 10 or like 12 chapters to catch up to Haikyuu. But I love like Haikyuu's like fucking up there. You know what I mean? Matt B, you know, Mugiwara like talks a lot about how Haikyuu is like his favorite manga right now in Weekly Shonen Jump, and I totally understand that because Haikyuu was hype as fuck. I remember reading the manga like after like part 1, and I was like, yo, these battles are fucking like ridiculous, man. The hype, they're like, what was it? The battle against Shida Torizawa was like fucking 40-something chapters, yo. Like that was one game. And it was like 40-something chapters. But it was like, those were like some of the best fucking chapters. Like that was one of the best arcs that I had ever read because like I was sitting down and sweating, yo. I was sweating fucking bullets. Like I was legit sweating bullets reading that fucking match. Like if any of y'all have not read Haikyuu or haven't watched Haikyuu, yo, get the fuck on that, son. Like, get on it, please. Please do. It's so good. I think it's probably, I would say it's tied with Slam Dunk for like best sports. This is just generally like best like sports manga and anime. Like it's just really fucking good. It does so many things well. You know what I mean? Like it does the shonen formula really, really well. It's just so fucking good. Kishimoto used to do that to Sakura back in the day. Yeah, he just threw her in a fucking trash can, or threw parts of her character that could have been utilized in a garbage fire. You know, just in case, like, right, like, because, you know, if Kishimoto threw Sakura's character development in a garbage can, you know, he'd still have an opportunity to take it out of the garbage can and, you know, give that bit of character development to Sakura. But if he throws it into a garbage fire, You can't get that shit out. That shit is disintegrated. That shit is burnt up. That shit is done. You know, that character development is fucking gone. You know, so he really did Sakura dirty. He did a lot of characters dirty. He did Rock Lee dirty. Tenten, he's always done dirty. I think in a lot of ways he did Kakashi dirty. You know, because Kakashi doesn't really get the development that he should get in terms of like, you know, right? Because he only develops his Sharingan for the most part, right? He doesn't really develop his fighting abilities or anything like that much. You know, it's just like, it's really just like him, Kakashi, and Kakashi's connection to the Sharingan and Sasuke's development and Naruto's development more than anything else. It's just like, you know, like he just did a lot of characters dirty. Yo, keep watching. Oh, no. Ippo was very good, but Haikyuu was really good, man. Like, I love Haikyuu. I think part of it is because Ippo is so long. Like, I can see an end in sight for Haikyuu, but I can't see an end in sight for Hajime no Ippo. That bothers me. It bothers me when I can't. It bothers me when I can't see an end in sight for any manga, really. You know, it's like it's why Detective Conan, Case Closed. Like, I don't think until it's done and they end that series, I'm never gonna fucking go back to that. I'm never gonna go back to watching the anime. I'm never gonna go back to reading the manga. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, is fucking Conan gonna stay a kid forever? Like that, it bothers me, man. Like, it really bothers me on like a level that it shouldn't. Like, I think it makes me angry actually that Conan is still a fucking kid and that we're still doing this shit. You know, it really bothers me. You know, and it's still fucking going. It's just too fucking long. They even ended Kochimai, right? They even ended that fucking manga and we could show jump because they were like, yo, we kind of gotta end this. This has been around for way too fucking long. You know, so they ended that shit. I don't know, maybe the manga just got fucking tired, you know? It's just like, I gotta fucking end this shit. But Ippo is there, like Ippo could be there. Ippo would be tired in a lot of ways, but like I think Haikyuu just does like a fucking phenomenal job in presenting a sport that a lot of people generally would not watch by themselves. You know what I mean? Like I watch volleyball sometimes whenever the Olympics are on, but by myself, I'd never be like, yo, I gotta go check out YouTube and watch these volleyball matches, you know. But like with boxing, yeah, I definitely go, you know, and not only watch matches, but I go watch older matches and like watch videos on like, you know, why certain boxers were so great, what their techniques were, stuff like that, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, I could do that on my own without having to watch Hajime no Ippo. But that doesn't mean that I'm discounting the greatness of Hajime no Ippo. I'm just saying, like, to me, it could be tied with Haikyuu, but I don't see an end in sight. It bothers me. Let's see. Is it better than Kuro? Yeah, I think so. I think it's just better. It's very much so. It's way more well done because like it doesn't like sometimes like Kuroko in a basket like does the super like I mean the characters have superpowers. Let's be real. The characters have superpowers and they're aestheticized, right? Like in a way to showcase that they are very much so superhuman, right? And in some ways like characters in Haikyuu are, but not really, because Haikyuu does a thing where one of the most prominent parts of Haikyuu is sort of players high in a sort of way in which players sense things, right? Like if you ever play, even it doesn't matter how skillful you are in a sport, at some point, if you've played sports like, you know, for a number of like years or something like that, right? It doesn't matter what you've played, like you have experienced like, you know, like a moment where like you can kind of like, you know, sense things before they're going to happen. Time sort of slows down in certain ways. You know what I mean? Like you know, Haikyuu does that really, really well, right? Because like, and it's consistent. It consistently does that, right? Because that's a consistent thing. People are like high levels, like the highest levels of sports are, you know, always sort of talking about like, you know, seeing things like slow-mo, almost as if time has stopped, you know, being able to think about you know, any number of things while they're doing one particular move, or, you know, pass or hit, or, you know, throw or whatever. You know, I think it is, but I don't begrudge people if they like Kotoko no Basket more than Haikyuu. I totally understand that. You know, like I totally get that like if you would. Haikyuu is, yeah, in some ways, because like it really explains like the way that the game is being played. That's what I was like, right? I said, right? It's like I don't know if Kotoko no Basket ever had like matches that were that long, that were like 50 chapters long or 40 chapters long or something like that. I don't know. Like I can't remember, because like with Kotoko, like most of my stuff with Kotoko was the anime. So I'm not sure if like Kotoko ever did like that with its manga. But I gotta say, I think Haikyuu always is very good about showing the development of a play, of a set, of, you know, of a deuce or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Sort of like in volleyball and in tennis, when like when the score is sort of tied, and like there's like a sort of back and forth of like points and stuff like that. But and yeah, but I think it does do a better job of like keeping track of things than like maybe a Kuroko no Basket. Like and maybe in terms of manga, I'm not necessarily sure, but I have to like read some manga chapters and like really look at it and figure some stuff out about that. I think so. I think Haikyuu was better than Kuroko, just because it's grounded. It's grounded in a way that Kuroko, in a way, or in a way, yeah, in a way that Kotoko wasn't. That's not to say that Kotoko, like, sorry, like, let me fix that. Like, that's not to say that Kotoko wasn't ever grounded. It's just that Haikyuu really, really keeps you on your toes. You don't ever really know whether, right, and this is rare for shonen. You never, right, and that's one thing I think I would compare it to, like, in terms of Hunter x Hunter, like, you never really know if a team is going to win or not. I think sometimes you kind of do, because of the construction of the narrative and because of the years of, you know, students. So you kind of understand that like maybe a team might win because, you know, the students are in their final year of high school or whatever, and they have to win this match now, because if they don't win it now, they never will. They won't have another opportunity to win at that level. So you understand that like you can kind of guess, but even then, not really. I think like that's what I really love about it. Like when I go into a match, I'm like, I don't fucking know I don't fucking know which team is going to win. Like I really don't. So I appreciate that about Haikyuu a lot. And the characters are cool. The characters, you know, really get their time to shine. Like they really do. Like, you know, there might be one match, and like the MVP of that match might be like a character that like, you know, we haven't really gotten a lot out of, you know, from since like, you know, the like first arc or something like that. You know what I mean? And like, you know, you get little inklings from them in terms of the story, but it doesn't necessarily have to do much about like with the match so much as it's just about like their growth as a character, about who they are as a person and shit like that. I really appreciate that. Yeah. But like what else do y'all want to talk about? Like what else do y'all want to talk about? You know, because I could always end the stream. Yeah, is Code Geass worth watching? Give me one sec. Yeah, is Code Geass worth watching? I think so. I think a lot, like any shonen anime, a lot of people will hype it up maybe a bit more. Like you know, they might say, "Oh, it's perfect, no flaws." But I think you know, I think it does have some, but it's definitely worth watching. It's pretty good, Like I really enjoyed it. You know, it's one of those anime, because sometimes anime might not like some anime don't have like intros that I particularly like or that I'm not really into. But every Code Geass intro is fire, I think. Like I have not listened to a Code Geass intro that I didn't like. You know, so that's a big part of it, I think, for me. The fact that the intros are great and the story is really good. a lot of people will compare it to, Death Note, or something like that, because like it's very tactic. It's very much so enmeshed in like tactics, and battles and like political battles and stuff like that, and alliances and shit, and the development of some characters. Right, not every character gets like a crazy amount of development, but enough. I think enough characters get development to where you're satisfied with how the story plays out. So I would definitely give it a watch. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it ends on a really good note. And I like generally for me, I was not expecting the ending. No spoilers, no spoilers. That's just me. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the ending. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So should you watch Code Geass? Yeah, definitely. Check it out. Please, please do. Um, please do. Uh yeah, like we could talk about anything. We could talk about, like I said again, we could talk about anything else. This stream is definitely, is definitely about Dragon Ball Super. And I basically said my piece about, um everything I wanted to say. Uh so yeah, but like we could talk about anything else. It doesn't matter to me. Um, I got thoughts on like certain things. But yeah, I mean, or we could end the stream. We can end the stream now, like that's fine. Let me see something. Yeah. But yeah, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna go grab a seltzer and then I'll be right back. All right, just give me a sec. Uh all right, we back, y'all. We back, y'all. Um, what time is Dustin streaming? Yeah, yeah, I definitely want to do a Kingdom stream. I probably won't do it today. But definitely what did they say? Tuesday. Definitely probably tomorrow. I think I'm definitely gonna do a blah, 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 a Kingdom stream tomorrow. So look out for that. Probably sometime like around like earlier, like much earlier, probably like around like three o'clock or something like that, 3 p.m. Eastern time or something like that. Like definitely look out for that. Maybe even earlier. I'll see. But yeah, just like I definitely want to get one out before Thanksgiving, right? Like I definitely want to get out one out before that. I'm definitely coming to Dustin Scream. Yo, One Vision, what's good? What's good? Yeah. What time is Dustin's stream? I didn't see like a tweet about it, but I mean, I need to be on Discord more. I'm just like terrible about like staying. Like I try not to stay logged into certain things other than like my Twitter and um other than my Twitter or like yo Jeff, hey. Yo, my brother Jeff is in the chat. Jeff is like, so he's one of my 5 brothers. He is the youngest, but he's like an old soul. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's like one of those kids that's like, like he's young, but like it doesn't really show it. Like you never guess that. You know what I mean? Yo, what's going on, One Vision? What's going on, One Vision? Let me see. Are you coming to Dustin's stream later? Yeah, but yeah, like I said, like I definitely want to see like what time. Just let me know what time. Just let me know what time. Thanks, Jeff. Yo, Jeff, I'm gonna add you as a moderator. Basically, what that means is that like, let's say anybody like tries to do some sort of whatever like spoilers or some shit like that. You have the ability to be like, hey, like stop doing the spoiler shit. Or if someone like gets a little bit too ridiculous, you can be like, and everyone else in the stream, because everyone else is the moderator, that's why like they're all like blue. But basically like you have the ability to be like, hey, like get the fuck out of here. And like yeah, like if I make anybody a moderator, I'm definitely gonna make like one of my brothers a moderator. But yeah. Let me see. But yeah. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I definitely want to do the Kingdom streams, like because it just got really good. Yo, Jeff, like if you want to start reading like any manga, but definitely don't watch anime because people said the anime is trash. Definitely start reading Kingdom, or yeah, definitely start reading Kingdom on your own time. It's really, really good. It's got a lot of chapters, so you'll have like a lot, so you'll definitely be able to read a lot. And it's really, really good. It's not like One Piece because it doesn't start off slow. Like it's just very good. Like it starts off pretty wonderfully, I think. So check that out. But yeah, I mean, like what? Yeah. Yo, facts, man. Yo, facts. Never watch the anime. Like I tried. It was just like 100 minutes. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like like I said, whatever y'all want to talk about, we'll talk about. Because like if y'all want to talk about One Piece, we could talk about One Piece. We can make this a One Piece stream, and we could talk about what we think, and whatever. We could do that. We could talk about, we could talk about My Hero Academia. We could talk about The Promised Neverland. We could talk about anything, whatever you want to talk about. Any like manga that you're like particularly reading right now that you're like, whoa. We could talk about Shokugeki no Soma, Food Wars or whatever, because I'm pretty much caught up on those. We could talk about Dr. Stone. We could talk about, we could talk about some of the new manga that have come out. I haven't read Golden Hearts yet. I gotta check that out. But people have said they liked it. Yo, for real, I'm so close. I'm so close. But I'll get there. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm always telling this to people. I've never done this. I've never done this to like for to gain a crazy amount of subs or to gain any type of notoriety or anything like that. I've always said, and I've said this like from the fucking beginning, I've always done this to talk to people about the stuff that I love. That's it. Like I have no like dreams of like grand delusions of grandeur or anything like that. This is not something that's gonna like bump up like my ego to like ridiculous levels or anything like that. I do this because like I love talking to y'all. I told like again, like besides like my brother Jeff and like some of my other brothers, like I don't have a lot of people to like outside of them. Like I don't really talk to people about manga or anime or anything like that. Like I have some people, like I don't see them like often enough to do that. But y'all, I can talk to you about this shit every day, literally. You know what I mean? So it means a lot to have this community, to be able to talk to all y'all and stuff. It's a fucking beautiful thing. I think a lot of people, like I feel sorry for some people because some people don't have the same type of community. They really don't. And it's sad. It's like fuck. Like you don't have a lot of people to talk about this stuff. Maybe they do. And if so, that's great. But a lot of people don't. You know. So it's cool. It's cool beans. Let me see. Yo, Jeff, definitely catch up. It's so good. It's so good. Dope. I'm telling you, you're gonna binge it. Cause like if you thought the anime was great, the manga is on a whole it's a different fucking it's a different monster, man. Different monster. No spoilers. Jeff, look, honestly, like if you don't want any spoilers on let's say either The Promised Neverland or even My Hero Academia, you just might want to like mute the stream or something or leave the stream. Just because like, I don't want you to be spoiled. I don't. I really don't. Because like if you are, like it just ruins it, Um uh you know, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But if you don't mind spoilers, then like, feel free to stay, feel free to do that, that's whatever. But if I think I know you, I think I know you pretty well. So and I think, you definitely don't like spoilers. So let me see. So we could definitely talk about The Promised Neverland. Have I read Ouroboros? No, but I'm definitely gonna check it out. I was that was suggested to me by someone, so definitely gotta check it out. Yeah, I never had anyone to talk to about manga and anime until I found Brago's channel Discord. Yeah, it's just like it's really hard out here, y'all. Like especially once you get out of high school or middle school, whatever. Like it's really really difficult to find people to consistently talk about this stuff with, right? Because everyone like has to be somewhere. Like physically, you have to be at work, you gotta be home. Maybe your home situation is like whatever, so like shit's going on, you can't see people as much. You know what I mean? There's always some situation, like some like there are always circumstances that get in the way of like just consistent physical like community, right? Where you can be in the same vicinity and talk about certain shit. You know what I mean? Like even with my brothers, you know what I mean? Like all my brothers, like we all live in like different like spaces. So it gets hard. Like it's very difficult. Like yeah. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? So yeah, let's like Discord is like cool. Like I need to be on Discord more. I really do. Like I need to like but the only reason I'm not is because like it's really difficult to like for me to like do a lot of multitasking. Like I have a hard time of like, all right, yo, later, Jeff. Feel free to come through anytime. Like once you've caught up to My Hero Academia, Jeff, like definitely come back to one of the streams that I do on My Hero Academia. And you could even come through and like talk on like a hangout stream and like come through and like you don't have to have like a camera or anything like that. It could just be your voice and you could talk about My Hero Academia with us, definitely. But later, Jeff. Jeff, I'm definitely coming over for Thanksgiving. I already let Mom know, so Thanksgiving is about to be lit. It's about to be hype, like it always is. You know what I mean? Gonna do those bondathons. You know what I mean? Like they're probably streaming. They probably like like whenever you're watching cable or something like that, they always run like those James Bond films and shit, like for Thanksgiving or whatever for whatever holiday. I'm looking forward to that shit. But anyways, let's talk about The Promised Neverland, y'all. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it. I love the latest chapter. I talked about it in another stream, like in that other stream where I just like ran through like Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and The Promised Neverland, and I just like talked about all three of them. But more so My Hero Academia and The Promised Neverland, because Black Clover was kind of like a sort of a whatever chapter, but the elf stuff was pretty cool. But the latest chapter of The Promised Neverland was fucking fire. That shit was fire. Like I keep telling people, like some people are like, "Yo, where are the battles?" And I'm like, it's not that type of manga. Like it's not a manga that depends on like types of battles. You know what I mean? Where it's like rah rah rah. It doesn't depend on that. So yeah, give me 1 sec, guys. I'll be right back, real quick. Yo, we're back. We are back. We are back. Okay. Just have to get a little like snack. You know what I mean? But yeah, that Promise Neverland chapter was fucking hype. Yeah, I totally understand it. Like I know like people definitely were waiting for a shift. And I like I said, again, I totally get it because like, you know, it was kind of like straightforward in some ways. I've always like I've still very much so enjoyed the Promise Neverland. Um, you know, so I never had an issue with it. Like I said, oh, like yo, if any of y'all want to join on the Hangout stream, again, let me know. I put the link in the description in the chat, so you can find it. You know what I mean? If any of y'all want to join, like feel free to do so. You know, and y'all can join. But like I said, people expect like Hunter x Hunter type fights from the Promised Neverland, and it's just not that kind of manga. It's like you know what I mean? Like it's just not like maybe it will be in some weird and you know, and they might change it in some way that makes sense or whatever. But for right now, like it's not that. It's just very much of like, you know, a battle of like wits and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like people who like it's like people that wanted fights in, you know, Death Note. I mean, I don't know anybody that wanted fights in Death Note. You know what I mean? Like because the fights were intellectual. They were like, you know, a battle of wits and shit. And it's a similar thing in the Promised Neverland. Like, right, like yeah, there are some like confrontations and stuff that make sense because like demons are not human. Like they have like they're superhuman in some ways. Like they're not superhuman, right? Because but they are you know, clearly stronger than humans. Like they just are, right? So, you know, they can do things that are really like, whoa, you know, but this isn't that type of manga. I don't really understand people. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But if you want to talk about the end of that chapter, I love that shit. That shit was so good. Yeah, like when I was reading the no, when I was doing that stream where I talked about the Promised Neverland, I mentioned like just the way that like there's been a lot of like Alice in Wonderland Disney-esque kind of like art, and the way that the stories sort of go on, like very like a lot of panels that are really like interesting, in how they're drawn, in the ways that like scale is shifted and stuff like that. Really interesting, right? There's like a lot of like whimsical shit that sometimes appears like in instances that are clearly very not whimsical, but like dangerous and shit and like creepy, and you know what I mean? And like Alice in Wonderland is like that. Like Alice in Wonderland has the same sort of creepy yet whimsical vibe. I'm pretty sure Pazuka is a fan of shit like that, you know, because she definitely like draws in such a way, right? And if you've ever seen her art is very similar too, like a lot of whimsical shit. But yeah, that last thing was hype. Give me one second, I was gonna, you know, eating some chips. Well, not chips, but like pirate booty. That shit is addictive as fuck, yo. Addictive as fuck. Yeah. You know, exactly. That's why I enjoy it more, because it's like I can read it. You know what I mean? Like really sit with it. You know, and I think the thing about that is like when a manga is right, it's not even about battle manga, right? It's like when a manga is geared in that way, it's far less likely that certain things won't make sense. Or at least it's less likely that things won't be explained. You know what I mean? Like with the Promised Neverland, things are always explained for the most part, unless it's purposefully not explained, right? Because of the mystery and the psychological, like, you know, horror sort of thriller nature of it. yeah, you know, the dystopian like nature of it. You know what I mean? So that's why I really like it. I know that when I go into a chapter, I'm gonna be like, yo, that shit was cool. That shit makes sense. Here's an explanation. Here's why these things are happening right now. You know what I mean? And like, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch that many. Hell no. That's too much. I don't watch a lot of anime right now. Right now I barely do. Like the only anime that I really keep up with is Dragon Ball Super because it's lightweight. You know what I mean? It's like it's easy. It's easy to like keep up with that because I don't have to watch all the episodes. I could just like come back like 3 episodes later and be like, hey, what's going on? And I'll be good, you know? But yeah. But yeah, you know, like that's why like I appreciate like manga because I could read like, 15 different manga at the same time. And I'd be chilling, you know? At least 15 is good manga. But yeah. I don't know. Oh, cool. Thanks, Professor Pokegeek. Real account. How is that? If you're still there, Professor Pokegeek, like how is that? Uh, Professor Pokegeek just shared manga. It's called Real Account. It's interesting. You know, there's like a little bit of blood on the cheek of one of these characters. I'm like, that's some creepy shit. Yeah, or like they might be twins. Looks interesting. Yeah, I might check that out. You know, I gotta get back to that more. I gotta like get back to making videos where I sort of review manga and shit, and like first volumes. But like, I need to make sure that like my money's in the right place because I gotta make sure that like I'm spending wisely and shit. 3 episodes later, and DBZ Super is fine. Yeah, it's like who cares? It's like nothing really happened. If I skip like 3 episodes of DBZ Super, maybe there was like a really really good episode, but like it doesn't really matter if I keep up with it. I can always come back and watch the episodes that I want to watch. That's like how like it's just so weak. The writing is so weak because like there's no incentive to really keep up with it episode by episode. Yo, I told people I said the announcement was going to be probably like I don't know. I said 2018 summer. Yeah, but I think it's going to be announced in like February. If I had to take a guess. Yeah, I'll say February. You know? Yeah, you say the town Emma is in looks empty as hell. Might be another stray human, like no name. I doubt it's an entire group. Yeah, we don't know. Like I'm really interested to see where this goes. I have no fucking clue what's gonna happen. You know? I can take some guesses, and I can take some wild guesses, but I really don't know. Could be humans, could be demons, could be hybrid human demons. I don't know. And I like that. You know what I mean? Like with Dragon Ball Super, it's like I have a pretty good idea of what's gonna happen in Dragon Ball Super. Pretty obvious. Um, it's like people who thought that like Goku was gonna be Jiren. I was like, no. You know? Um, or like You know what I mean? Like certain things, like you had to know that, like, you know, when Naruto fought Sasuke at the Valley of the End, you knew Naruto was gonna lose that battle. You know what I mean? But with this, I have no fucking clue what's gonna happen. I'm not sure what the fuck this. I mean, the town might be like a trap or something like that. Yeah, like you know the universe is going to be destroyed. Like it's like this is what happens when you have shit writing, right? There are no stakes because the story, the general story doesn't allow for stakes, right? Like that's the thing, right? It's like Uber Hikari, he like I don't know what he's doing right now, but like he was one of those YouTubers where like I watched him and I was like, oh, let me get on YouTube because like like he would talk about things in a way that like he was like extremely critical, and I was fine because like that was his prerogative and I understood that, you know what I mean, and he stuck to that, and like he had this video that was talking about Sasuke and the plot trap, and why like Sasuke's character like just kind of fell into like a fucking hole and never recovered, you know what I mean, like the story, right? The plot did not allow for Sasuke to really be a sensical character in a way, right? Like he kept trying to explain all the shit, why he was doing what he was doing, and everything like that. And it was just like it's kind of falling on deaf ears, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, like the universes aren't going to be destroyed. The story will not allow, right, for all of the universes to be destroyed, or even one universe to survive. It won't allow for that. Why is that? Well, because it's Dragon Ball. It's a Dragon Ball franchise. They would never allow something that like devastating to happen in that franchise. And if they did, it'd have to be something that happened off screen, like a past occurrence, something like that. Yeah. Like the most devastating thing that happened in the Dragon Ball franchise was the destruction of Planet Vegeta. That's about it. That's about it, I think. Because they have not revived Planet Vegeta. Like, they didn't make that wish. Yeah. They could have done that plenty of times, I think. They didn't do that. So it's like, ain't no stakes there. But the problem's Neverland. It's like all the stakes are fucking there. Norman is not around. Like Norman was introduced as one of the three like pillars, you know what I mean? One of the three main like one of the protagonists. And he ain't around. You know what I mean? Like, boy, gone. He gone. I don't think he's dead, right? Clearly. That's why like I have this theory. I'm gonna tell you what my theory is like in like a minute. But the fact that the writer decided to just like, Norman, you're gonna go over there. We're not gonna see you for a while. That's huge. That's a huge deal. That's like if you were watching Dragon Ball Z and Toriyama decided, you know what, Vegeta, we're not gonna have Vegeta at all. Vegeta's not gonna. We're just gonna let him do something else for the majority of the series. That'd be fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like that'd be fucking nuts. But outcry, yo. But Shirai did it brilliantly, right? Because he said, "Let me get rid of him sooner rather than later." Because even though people might like his character, we haven't grown enough of an attachment, like the majority of us, right? Oh yeah, and when Sister Crone got killed, shit, like that hurt me. because she was such a really well done character, except for the whole like, next, like, you know what I mean? Like Japanese people do not know how to draw people of color. They just don't. Most of them don't. You know what I mean? They really don't. Like they don't know what the fuck they're doing in that sense. Yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But she was a great character. Because she was someone that like, what was, she could have been overpowered but wasn't, right? Like they didn't, they like Shirai, right, wrote her to be just strong enough so that she would pose a challenge, but not strong enough to really beat the children, right, or beat Isabella, right? So this is actually going to lead into my theory. I like, and I don't really like making like theories and stuff like that. Like, I have ideas. I'm not gonna call it. This is just an idea because I don't have a fucking theory. I didn't like, do a ton of research at the New York Public Library, and like go on like online journals and databases. Like this is not a fucking theory. This is, this ain't my thesis statement. But what I will say is that I think that the mamas are integral to Norman's disappearance, and will be integral to Norman coming back, and are directly working with at least some of the mamas, right? Like the grandmas definitely, I think, and Isabella are working with Willie Minerva. I really believe that. Why? Because the mamas have access to, at least the mamas of like the houses, right? They have access to technology. That they can use to communicate with, right? Isabella is incredibly intelligent. The demons have not shown themselves to be particularly intelligent, like in the same way that Isabella is, or the grandmother or the grandma. And I think they have access to technology, right? Which allows them to maybe secretly, keep in contact with one another. Make sure that like they might even have an alliance with some demons, who actually like humans. You know what I mean? Like and like Musica. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a lot going on here that we just don't know about. But it's just how I think. I really think that the mamas that exist are all working together with William Minerva, maybe some other demons, in the sort of vein of a Musica, to like save some of these kids, slowly but surely. And Norman, when Norman was like, what the hell? That was because Isabella had already known that Norman would be useful, right? Like Connie, like Isabella's like, she's kind of cold, right? Like, I really think that Norman either met with William Minerva or someone who was speaking for him or whoever. Yeah. Facts. I'm pretty sure they're training Norman right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I'm really interested to see what they do with that. But yeah, The Promised Neverland just is great stuff. Every chapter is always like, every chapter does what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, it really does. Like, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that about The Promised Neverland. I love this fucking manga. I do tell people it's my favorite manga in Jump. Sometimes you go on Twitter and you have people that like they fucking love Hunter x Hunter, and I totally understand because Hunter x Hunter was my favorite manga in Jump like before The Promised Neverland came along. It was really good. Yo, when we go back to Gracefield House, it's gonna be some crazy shit. Like it's gonna be fucking wild. It's gonna be really wild. I truly believe that there's going to be a time skip. Like, and not like a 5 months have passed or something like that. I mean, like 2 years. You know what I mean? Like 2 years have passed, and like Emma and Ray are like 14 or 15 or some shit like that. You know, um, I really believe that it's gonna be a significant time skip, like 2 years, and they're gonna come back, and Graceful House is gonna be different. Isabella might not even be there anymore. Isabella might not be there anymore, but she leaves a message. Phil is, yeah, we still can't trust Phil. We really can't. Like we don't like, we don't know. But I mean, I will say, Phil. I mean, Phil clearly is, and like I said again, like all the children are clearly like fucking geniuses, right? Like Phil's a genius. I, and I really like, I really believe that the ways in which like Shirai and Pazuka like planted Phil in the manga, that was done purposefully. You know what I mean? Like a good writer like does certain things like that purposefully, and I think Phil might Phil might pull some shit and we're gonna be like, yo, we might have like thought a little bit less of Phil after they left him at the Graceful house, but he might 2 years later, in some time, he might be on some shit. See something. You know what I mean? Um, oh, that's so funny. What I'm gonna call it? I was yeah. Oh, I was looking at Twitter very quickly, and like Matt B was like, any of y'all that read the Hajime no Ippo manga, you might be pissed. Like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm ready for whatever it is because like it's a long fucking manga. Like anything that's like particularly big doesn't bother me at this point because I mean that manga has like 1,000 something fucking chapters. Like what, like 1,100 chapters, something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing about Hajime no Ippo that's gonna like get me like because we've been around it for so long. Because they've already done some stuff that was like particularly like, oh my fucking god, right? But whatever it is, it's whatever. But yeah, Phil, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Phil, but I do know that when we see him, and I feel like there's gonna be a time skip. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there because like based on like what I've read and based on how like shonen manga tend to work and Weekly Shonen Jump. I mean, he's so fucking smart. Phil's clearly like a genius. Look how tiny he is, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? We're gonna have regular conversations and da da da." So it's just funny. I don't know what the fuck Phil's gonna do. Yo, Fraggy, what's going on? What's good? What's good? Um, Nothing much. Nothing much. We just chilling. We just chilling. We talking about stuff. We were talking about Dragon Ball Super for a while. And then we just started talking about other stuff. Because I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. But if you want to talk about something else in terms of Dragon Ball Super, we could definitely do that. 1,000 chapters, damn! Imagine trying to catch it from the chapter one. Yeah, yeah, it's like ridiculous. I have to reread the chapters where we see the humans running the facility. Yeah, definitely, definitely. When you say the facility, you talking about Gracefield House, or are you talking about like the houses, or are you talking about something else? Um, yeah, yo, Frag, what's going on? Like I said, like if you want to talk about anything, let me know. We could definitely, talk about Super. We could talk about whatever else you want to talk about. And we could do that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, like I said, what do you want to talk about? Because I'll talk about all the fucking things like that I wanted to talk about. You know what I mean? So, if you want to talk about anything, let me know. Let me know. You know. But yeah, if you're reading Hajime no Ippo, it's just like, you know, it's good because it is like a manga about people, but how disrespect Phil the God. Yo, I'm look, Phil is still greatness, but like like I said, like we're gonna have a time skip. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna have a time skip. That's what I think. Like I think there's gonna be like a time skip. It's gonna be 2 years. You know, that way Phil's like a little bit older. You know, the kid like Emma and Ray are significantly older. You know what I mean? Everyone's significantly older. So that allows like for different sort of moves to be made. You know, for their mobility to sort of increase and stuff like that. Well, I created a video about Vegeta turning Ultra Instinct, but if you want, I can explain it here. By the way, I got 0 views. Yo, dude, I started my channel in, I want to say June or July, maybe even. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm gonna sub to you, man. Like, yo, I started my channel fucking July, I believe, or June, and like I had 0 subs. Nobody was looking at me. Like, you know what I mean? It's like everyone, and people would say like everyone starts at 0, and like it's very much so true. You start at 0, and like the key thing is just to keep making content. Just keep making content. Just like keep putting stuff out, and I think a lot of people like, you know, want to do their own content, and that's fine. Like you can definitely do your own content because that's how I started. But you definitely want to like, you know, talk to people. Like you have to like, you got to talk to people. Like you got to like, you know, it doesn't have to be people that are like huge in the community or anything like that. But even if you're just like, you know, making content, really putting in the work into the videos, I mean, about Dragon Ball season videos, you know, videos, yeah, go for it. There are a lot of videos out there about that, but that's fine. The key is like, you know, that you're watching all those videos, that you're thinking about how are your theories and thoughts like different from the rest of the bunch. You know what I mean? Like, and definitely get a Twitter. Yo, Twitter helps so fucking much. I love Twitter. I love Twitter. Like Twitter is like because it doesn't only allow me to connect with people like in the manga and anime community, but it allows me to connect with like people in like, you know, the comic book communities, with people just like in terms of like, you know, general stuff that I'm interested in. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. You know, it's really, really cool. And like you can really talk to people in that way. Like it's a little bit faster. Right on YouTube, you kind of have to like, you know, respond to either comments or, you know, do streams to really talk with people like in that way. But yeah. Just like keep making content. You know, definitely get Twitter because that shit is huge. Facebook is not particularly useful. I don't think, because I tried to start a Facebook page and like that, like, you know, didn't go anywhere. And it didn't go anywhere because, you know, Facebook is not a place where people really like to do much, you know, other than like connect with the people that they already know, and shit like that. And unless you have like a massive channel, like if you have a massive channel, then Facebook is helpful. But if you don't, Facebook is like not particularly helpful. And it's not really useful because there are a lot of reasons why Facebook isn't useful and why the setup of Facebook doesn't allow for certain things. Hey, what's going on, Aoife? What are you doing? So it's just my cat. But yeah, get Twitter. Don't worry about Facebook. Don't worry about Facebook. It's kind of useless. You could try, but I found it to be pretty useless. I'm starting out. Just keep making content. You know, Facebook is like and like for content creators. Like unless you're like a massive creator, like that shit is like dead weight. It's a waste of time. So don't waste time on that. You know, don't waste time linking to that or anything like that. But yeah, definitely set up like, you know, if you want to set up an Instagram, that's cool. I don't have an Instagram, but I should definitely set one up. I think I should. Twitter, YouTube account. Keep making content. Make content every day. At the beginning, if you like, cause that's what I try to do. I try to make sure that I was doing reviews, like not every day, but like at least every other day. If you can make content every other day, if you can say like I'm gonna put out at least like one video, you know, like every other day. That's how I started out at first, and like that was helpful. You know what I mean? Like it helped out in terms of like getting people. Let's see. I think Goku will lose from Jiren, and then Vegeta realizes that if Universe 7 loses, Bulma dies, Trunks dies, with the anger match. Yeah, that's interesting. Like Patara Fusion, Ultra Instinct Vegeta. That would be fucking incredible. Patara Vegeta with Ultra Instinct, holy shit. That'd be ridiculous. But it'd be interesting. I'm already talking to It's Anime Girl on Twitter. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely keep doing that. It's cool. Let me see. Fraggy, are you? I mean, this is gonna be like a weird question, but like, you guy, woman, what do you like identify as? Just asking, just like so I don't, say something like stupid or insensitive by mistake. You know what I mean? I do like to know like the gender, like the gender of like subs and people like that are on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. Just so I'm not insensitive or whatever. You know? Yeah, yeah. I mean, like this is the thing, right? It's like just stay around, like stay around this community. Talk to people. Like you can talk, like you can talk to people that are watching Dragon Ball Super. Talk to people in this chat. Keep talk to me on Twitter. I'm always up for like having conversations on Twitter and stuff like that. You can send me a message, you can send me a tweet, whatever works for you. But it's really cool. It's really cool. It's awesome. Makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of people and so like this FYI, like I definitely deal with like a lot of depression and stuff. Okay, cool. So like this really helps with it, like because like let's say like sometimes I might just like really, really want to stay in the house, like on a day where I don't have to go out. And so like this is really helpful for getting me to like, gets my mood up. It gets me excited to, start the day, to get to go to work through the day and stuff. You can find it in the description box on the under there. And you can like you click that link and then you can just follow me there. But yeah, and like just follow me and then I'll follow you back definitely. If if you have a Twitter, I'll definitely follow you back. Aoife, what's going on? Get out of here. Sorry, my cat's being, like my cat. But yeah, and the one thing that I really do love about this too is Twitter, YouTube, things like that. Like even like Discord, stuff like that. Like it allows you to connect with people regardless of like the age, like and stuff like that. In a way that's not like creepy, right? Like because you definitely have like creepos out there on the fucking internet, and and they're saying all this crazy shit and they're doing crazy shit, and you don't want to fucking interact with those motherfuckers, right? But you know what I mean? But there's a way in which like for me like I teach, right? I talk about like my own like doctoral like work and stuff like that. Like I do like substitute teaching work, and like I'm on like a long-term like schedule where I'm teaching 7th graders, and it's like I take 7th graders seriously. Like I take kids seriously. I take people like regardless of like their age, like to particular extents, like I take them seriously. Like I don't like degrade people. I don't think they're like oh, this person's 16, so they must be like an idiot or something like that, or they're 12, so they must be stupid. Like I know a lot of adults that think that, and I'm like, yo, like I know people that are like 16, people that are 12, people that are 10, you know what I mean, 12, whatever, you know what I mean, that like are fucking like brilliant. They have really good things to say. They have really interesting things to say. Obviously, there are things that like you got to be like, you know what I mean, like you got to be a little careful, and depending on the setting, right? For me, at least in terms of teaching and stuff. But in terms of like YouTube and like Twitter and stuff like that, like I know creepos, so like I can interact with people regardless of the age and like be like, hey, okay, like I respect you, you respect me. Let's keep it moving. So it's cool. And like if I miss it, like happy birthday. 17, like I remember when I turned 17 and it was like I was like, man, like 18's gonna fucking come. You know what I mean? It's like, ah shit. But yeah. Let me see. You said, yeah, but like in terms of like Dragon Ball Super, like I said, like I have a lot of thoughts. I mentioned a lot of thoughts in this stream. It's just really kind of Oh, hold on. My fiance's calling. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Just had to talk to to my fiance. She's gonna be home in a little bit. And I also have a delivery that I need to wait for. So I have to end the stream in like 2 or 3 minutes. Um, oh man, no, fuck out of here, man. I never want to go back to that shit. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Oh my god. Too much. It's too much. I could have a whole stream talking about high school, all of that shit. It was so exhausting. For no fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing, right? It's like, like when you get out of high school, like at least for me, like it was a little bit. It was like at first it was like, thank God I don't have to do high school anymore. But then it was like I gotta make some decisions. Like I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. I gotta figure out what, like, am I gonna work? Am I gonna go to school? Am I gonna do both? It was a lot. But I never want to fucking go back to high school, or any of that shit. Oh, that shit was so exhausting. I had to like worrying about, like, oh, am I gonna lose my virginity? Does this girl like me? You know, all this bullshit that I gotta worry about, the PSATs, like nonsense. With college applications. Ugh. That shit was so fucking annoying. I never wanted to get out of something more quickly. Um, like, so much, and the hormones, yo. It's like shit, you know, just too much, too much. Like that's not to say I didn't have like some good memories or anything like that. It's just that like I have great memories now, and like I'm way happier, and I have more freedom, and I don't have to ask like a fucking, teacher to uh, go to the bathroom or worry about some, AP or dean that's gonna be like, hey, no running in the hall. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I don't miss that shit at all. Like usually, like sometimes my friends will come over and they'll like, want to talk about like high school and shit like that. They had a different like experience of high school than I did. Um, Let me see. But yeah, I don't care. I'm over high school. I'm done. I'm done, yo. I know you subscribe to me, but don't forget to watch the videos I upload. I just want active people. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some people like I definitely like subscribe to. Like, there's some big YouTubers that I subscribe to, and I watch maybe like two of their videos like a week or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, just because like either I don't care about the video that they just put out, which is fine. It was just like, you're not gonna care about every video that like someone puts out. But I tend to watch more of the videos from people in this community. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like people that are on this Discord and stuff like Brago, like One Vision, Destin Reacts, Sauce God, Mugiwara, Matt B. You know what I mean? People like that. Like I tend to watch theirs more. But yeah. Actually, let me find your channel quickly. Let me do that now. Let me sub now. Channel. Do that quickly. And then I'll hit that notification bell button so I know when your content's coming out. Yeah, I got you. Okay, I am going to end the stream now. But you could definitely have a stream about high school because like Dustin did one that was really, really, really good. You know, it was entertaining yet like really like poignant and like really like like real like it was like a real like legit like just stream like talking about shit and like real life shit that's one thing I love about this community is that like we get to do that. And like a lot of other people like don't do that. Like they kind of want YouTube to be like a persona, which I understand to an extent. But it's also just like you don't have to talk about every fucking thing. But yeah, you know. Okay. Okay, I got you. All right, I am going to follow you. All right, I followed you, and I am gonna end the stream now. Okay, just because I gotta wait for this delivery. Okay, so thank all of y'all for coming out. Wait, Frag. Oh, Frag, I gotta make you a moderator. I got you. I made you a moderator. All right. So, like I said, you're in the stream. Some random person wants to come in and start doing some crazy shit. Yeah, I'm bouncing too. I'm definitely gonna make for Dustin's stream. I just gotta wait for this delivery so I can like watch Dustin's stream while I'm waiting for it. But yeah, yo, thank all y'all for coming out. Shouts out to every fucking one of you. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna stream again today, but I'll definitely stream again tomorrow. I'll see. I might do like a late stream or something like that. But usually, what happens is if I do a stream, or if I do multiple streams, I try to do it earlier so that I can spend time with my fiance, right? Because that's what a relationship's for, right? Like I got to do the relationship thing, which I love to do. But you know what I mean? Like usually I try to make sure that I don't have anything else to do like through the day, like in that sense. But but like I said, you'll catch me in Dustin's stream. And yeah, I'll see all y'all later. All right, I'm out.